the good life, full of fun.
Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. Another great day. I'm going to tell you why I got Bobby Darin playing in the background. Phenomenal song. But listen, we're going to make a recipe today. It's simple, it's easy, it's fast, it's absolutely delicious. I already know you know what it is because you clicked on the YouTube channel and episode, but we're going to make some veal marsala. Veal marsala is absolutely one of the best, most delicious, tender ways to prepare veal, and it's got that beautiful flavor. And I want to share with you a phenomenal recipe that I get from my family that's got that Southern Italian, that Sicilian feel, which is where veal marsala actually originated from. So let me go over some ingredients with you. We'll go over it quick. It's relatively easy. You're only going to dirty a couple of pans here, and this is a meal that certainly will set a tradition for your family for generations to come. So where are we going to start? Here, first and foremost, we want some Marsala wine. Guys, when you go to the liquor store, I want to give a shout out to Casanova Liquors, Hans, my buddy up there. You want the Italian Marsala. Marsala is actually a village in Sicily, and that's where Marsala wine came from. So you certainly want to get the true sweet. You want the sweet, not the dry, the sweet version of Marsala wine. We're going to use about half a cup to 3/4 of a cup, depends on how crazy we feel when we're at the pan and when we deglaze it, okay? Because essentially Marsala sauce is a reduction sauce is what we're gonna make, okay? We're gonna do about 1.5 pounds of veal. They're already pounded out nice and thin. I'll show you how to do one of them, make it simple, make it easy for you. We've got 2 cups of portobello mushrooms, about 1.5 cups chopped up. I like to use portobello. It's heartier, it keeps a little bit of its shape, it offers a beautiful flavor. It's got that meat kind of backdrop to it, which goes perfectly with obviously the veal. We got 1 cup of beef stock. We've got 2 cups of flour seasoned. So I put 2 cups of flour and I put some salt and pepper in there, about 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons of salt, and 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of freshly ground pepper. Stirred it up with a fork, okay? I've got 1 sprig, maybe a little bit less, of thyme. Okay, and I've got a little bit less than 1 sprig of rosemary. I chopped it up nice and fine. I've got 1/2 cup of onion, and I've got a yellow onion. Yellow onion is sweet, but it's got a little bit more flavor, a little bit more kick. I got 1.5 cloves of garlic. I got 4 tablespoons, woo, man, this is fun, isn't it? 4 tablespoons of butter. I've got some parsley to finish it off, obviously freshly ground pepper. We've got salt, and guys, I gotta do my plug here. The best extra virgin olive oil in the world right here, Vito and Joe, sold by my family. And for some of you guys that don't know that we have a villa in Italy, we have an olive grove, so we co-opted with other farms. We make the best, we bring to your table, basically a bottle of Italy to your table, the best extra virgin, true authentic extra virgin olive oil, and I named it after my 2 boys, Vito and Joe. So you can go right on Amazon or Facebook or our webpage, Cooking Italian Joe, grab yourself a couple of bottles of olive oil. Great cute video on there. I dressed up as the Godfather, so something fun to watch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of prep this. We want to pound the veal nice and thin. I want to do that first for you. All right, guys, just to show you how to prep that veal. So I've got this last piece of veal, so I'm going to pop it right on the plate here on the chop board. And what I'm going to do is position it off to the side. I'm going to take this saran wrap and pop it over it, okay? I want them thin. I want a cutlet, you know, like what they call a medallion. I want it thin because it becomes so tender. So I take when I prep the meat, I took all the connective tissue off the outside. I don't want any connective tissue at all because that'll get tough and it eliminates that ability to have that nice tender piece. And then I'm just going to take a tenderizer here and I'm going to hammer it, okay? All right, guys, so I want to prep this pan. So I just turned the heat on, okay? I got a little bit above medium. I've got my butter, and then I want to add some olive oil. So I'm going to add about 1/3 cup, you know, a heavy third. And why do I want to do that? One, the flour from the veal is going to actually help thicken the sauce. The Marsala sauce almost makes like a roux. But even more importantly than that, a little trick that I like to do to just add a little depth of flavor is I like to sear. I want to sear the veal cutlet, okay? So I want to sear it. I wanted to get it brown, almost crispy on both sides of it, even though it's going to stay real tender on the inside. So I want the pan hot, but not too hot because I don't want to burn the butter. All right, guys, just one real quick tip. I don't want to bread, when you're making a Marsala, like a chicken or a veal, I don't want to bread it ahead of time. I want to bread it instantly before I put it in the pan. I don't want the moisture from the meat, if you will, to hydrate the flour, because then it doesn't sear as well. It ruins the outer coating, okay? Or I say ruins it. It doesn't come out as good, okay? So don't flour it until you're ready to put it in the pan. The pan's hot, it's ready to go. I've seasoned my flour, if you remember, with the salt and the pepper. I'm gonna take the veal, I'm gonna put it in the flour, and again, I wanna get some flour on there, so I definitely wanna, you know, hit it. So it's got a good coating of flour. One, I want some to adhere, but the other point is I want that flour, some of it, that excess to come off, okay? So I've got that beautiful piece of veal, I'm gonna pop it right in there. You see how nice and breaded that is. So it's just gonna go right in there. I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up. So just to show you guys, see how nice and brown and crisp that is? That's perfect, that's what we're going for. So I'm gonna get all those nice and brown and beautiful. All right guys, veal's done. I'm gonna pop it right here in the oven, keep it warm. Now I've got this going, right? So I wanna break down, before I decaramelize or deglaze that pan, I'm gonna throw my onion and my garlic in there. And that's gonna take us, that'll give off some moisture. So that's gonna take us, you know, 3 minutes, all right? Translucent and then just beyond. I want the onion essentially to be broken down a little bit, okay? Nice and tender. Hey guys, I gotta tell you, the smell in here, unbelievable. So I've got all this cooked down. The onions, they're not even brown, but the breading, if you will, that flour, ooh, there's a piece of garlic. That flour and everything is cooked right down. So now we're gonna do the fun part. We're gonna add that Marsala wine, okay? So I've got the Marsala wine, you know, I say half a cup, we're gonna go a little bit further. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. And that's gonna do what they call deglaze, because it's essentially a reduction sauce, right? So we're gonna deglaze that pan, and right now you can really get that, flavor, you know, the traditional smell of that Marsala wine. Oh my God, absolutely phenomenal. You know, and then you got the onion, you got the garlic. So we're gonna wanna deglaze this. We're gonna hit this here just for about a minute, maybe a minute and a half. And you just wanna get as much of that off, you know, the alcohol, if you will, in the wine. We'll get all those little bits. See those little bits? And I'll tell you, the smell in here. Oh. All right, so now we're gonna add everything else. We're gonna add our cup of beef stock, okay? And then we're gonna add our mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, okay? Which don't wanna come out. I wouldn't want either, because I know they're gonna get hot. And then I've got my rosemary, okay? And I've got my thyme. Not talking about my watch. All right? And we're just gonna, now we're gonna let it all cook down at a little bit of a low temp, and I do it for about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. And then I turn the heat up, and then we reduce it, okay? I wanna give those mushrooms a chance to give off their moisture. Now they'll give off a little bit of moisture. It'll thin the reduction sauce just for about a minute, and then once you turn the heat up, watch it, just keep stirring it, you'll see it start to thicken. All right guys, so we're good. So what I'm gonna do is take that veal, I'm gonna pop it right in there. And essentially what I wanna do is just get it coated with that sauce. Okay, it'll heat it up to that temp that we want. Plus it just starts to allow everything to marry with those flavors. All right guys, so I've let everything stay in there about a minute. Tell you if you could smell this kitchen right now. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Whoop, whoop. They're so excited to come out of the pan, they both wanted to come out. All right, so I'm gonna hit it like that, and then I'm gonna just take the Marsala sauce, okay, and I'm gonna hit it right over the top. That right there, that's awesome. I'm gonna hit it with a little parsley just to plate it. All right guys, favorite part. I'm gonna grab one of these medallions off. Look at that, I got that perfect. I just got the sauce right there. Oh my God, beautiful. Look at that. You know, you can smell, and you won't even need a knife because it's gonna be so tender and so thin, it's just gonna fall apart. So I'm gonna get a little piece of that with that sauce. It's so tender, it falls apart in your mouth. And you got the mushroom, the rosemary, the thyme, the butter, the olive oil. You got that nice little bit of a caramelized feel to the veal. Guys, thanks so much for spending a few minutes with me today in my kitchen, taking a trip to Sicily and to the village of Marsala. Wasn't that great? Simple, easy, delicious recipe. Spend some time in the kitchen with your family, set some traditions, celebrate your heritage. Go on my Facebook or go on my YouTube and go on my website, grab your family a couple of bottles of olive oil, celebrate. Until next week, mwah, bon appetit, fellas.
The good life, full of